Member for Baulkham Hills.
Mr Acting Speaker, I rise to bring to the House's attention an ongoing matter of public concern in the Hills District in relation to a Telstra aerial being put onto the Castle Hill RSL. In doing that, can I just disclose that, as I've mentioned to the House before, I've been a director of the Castle Hill RSL for some 5 years. But my interest and involvement in this particular dispute has been brought about because of the number of constituents that have come to me to raise their concerns about the way that Telstra has forced an aerial onto both the club and to the community. Mr Acting Speaker, in my 10 years as an industry association executive, I had been exposed well and truly to some corporate bullying in my time. I've seen it by some of Australia's largest and indeed some of the largest companies in the world, bullying communities, bullying small organisations and institutions, and it is repugnant. And I may remind members of the House that in my maiden speech I stood up to bureaucratic bullying, that which I saw as an industry association executive, but I can tell you from what I've seen from Telstra over the last couple of months in relation to this tower is nothing short of a disgrace. Mr Acting Speaker, I'm a fan of Australian companies. I've never disputed or criticised Telstra before, even when probably others have had reason to. But I cannot express my disgust more than the way that Telstra has shown absolute disregard for the community of the Hills District in ensuring that they get their tower on the top of Castle Hill RSL. I want to reassure the community that I, as the local member for Baulkham Hills, as well as the director of the RSL, and indeed I can speak for the board and management of the RSL, and indeed the other members of Parliament, the member for Castle Hill, the federal member for Mitchell, the member for Hawkesbury, and indeed the mayor of the Hills Shire, highlighting the fact that we do not want this Telstra tower on the roof of this club. Why? Because it is so close to up to 8 schools, high schools, preschools, public schools. And the Department of Education's own policy says that these towers should not be within 500 metres of educational institutions. I can tell you that when the RSL Club was told some 8, 9 months ago that Telstra were going to be using their authority under the Telecommunications Act to force this tower, the club made it very clear that this sort of bullying was repugnant to the board, to the management, and that we would fight against it. Unfortunately, some members of the community didn't take up our call to arms. Unfortunately, it's only in recent weeks that members of the community have joined the RSL Club in campaigning against this tower, but nonetheless the club and the community are at one in making sure that Telstra reverses this ridiculous decision. I have no doubt that all members of this House will agree that it is totally inappropriate to have telecommunications aerials across the road from well catered for schools. It is totally irresponsible for the community to have to be expected to see that sort of disregard for community safety, health and welfare in our students. Parents don't expect their children to be exposed to this type of risk, if indeed, this type of risk while they're at school. Now, I accept the fact that some parents send their kids off to school with a mobile phone. I don't. And there are plenty of community members in my electorate who don't allow their children mobile phones at school, and so why should they be exposed to companies whose approach to this has been nothing short of bombastic? And it's not as if, of course, the community doesn't have other options to offer up. We've suggested to Telstra that there are plenty of other places around the Hills District that they could put this tower up. They've completely rejected the suggestions from both the club and the community, and for that reason, I've had no option but to stand up and highlight the fact that Telstra has been treating my community with nothing short of contempt. Mr Acting Speaker, if Telstra wishes to continue to treat locals in this regard, they should not be surprised when my constituents and community leaders start moving against Telstra and making sure its brand is damaged. Can I commend all members of the community to fight against this? This is a hideous plan by Telstra. And can I also acknowledge the work of the member for Castle Hill Mitchell and the mayor of the Hills Shire in making sure that this area, this tower, is not going to be forced upon the community of Castle Hill.
I think